Tech whiz here.
I'm a little
Okay, we're good to go.
Hi, I'm Melissa, guys. I always say I'm Nancy because like, I'm winging life. And, yeah, everything's. The last one I just did, we did questions. I'm not sure how we're doing it in this room. We're just doing
Whatever you want.
You guys have some questions?
no questions in here. Okay, well, I'll just start. I'm Melissa. I'm 33. I'm from Indiana. I was in Adelphi from, I believe it was 2006 to 2009. And it was quite an adventure. I was crazy. Oh, I'm still crazy. Let's just say that I'm still crazy too. I'll always be crazy, but in a healthier way. I don't know. You don't even hear.
Were you on this side of Adelphi or were you residential?
I went to day treatment.
Okay.
I went to day treatment in Indiana. I was there. I made really poor choices. My choices were among drugs, rebelling. I didn't want to go to school. I just didn't want to follow like a normal teenager lifestyle, if that makes sense. I had other ideas in my head. I wanted no authority over me. I thought I had all of the answers. I thought I was going to just do whatever I wanted and no one could stop me. If you told me something, I was doing the opposite. If you told me drugs were bad, I was going to buy more. If you told me my mom needed me home, I wouldn't come home for weeks. Like that was the type of lifestyle I lived. And it carried on clear into my adulthood. What Adelphi, helped me do was, tried to help me do in the beginning. I went there in that crazy mindset. And it backfired on me. They had come into my home, they would flip the mattress and try to get me to go to Adelphi. Quite a few times. Miss Pierce, she had warranted like access with my mother to go flip these mattresses, get me to go to school. I would take blankets in and she got it approved to throw the blankets away. So I would go down to the dollar store and buy $2 blankets and buy more blankets. So I would sit in my desk in the back corner and cover up. And I'm like, I'm not participating. I would rebel every chance I got. I would bring drugs into her school. They would get confiscated. I would get fined. Let me correct you. My mother would get fined. I did all of these rebelling things in the beginning. And then, days, weeks, months started passing. And, the blankets got removed. My head started perking up. My ears started listening a little bit more. It wasn't every day. Because, there's days I sneak a blanket back in. I do drugs secretly in the bathroom. But, each in between those days, my ears would listen. I would answer a question in math class. By the way, hate math, don't ask me math. It's what God thing. But in between all this, I started getting awareness of myself and those around me. And I started trying to see who Melissa was. I still don't know who I am, by the way. But I started to try. And that's like what Adelphi was trying to do for me was, hey, like be a participant in your life. Like if you don't show up for you, who is? Someone's not going to come crashing through the window and be like, hey, I'm here to save ya. Let's go. No, it was me. I had to show up for myself. I had to unwrap from that blanket in the corner. If I wasn't going to, like, what am I going to do right away in a blanket? Like nobody was coming to save me but me. I had to take accountability for me. I could sit there and be goofy and cut up in the corner, or, I could laugh my whole life away. I could carve stuff in the desk and, you know, all the crazy stuff that we want to do as kids. But where's it going to lead me? You know, trust me, I can tell you where it led me because I did it. It led me down a really dark path for a while. And, you know, Brooke would reach out to me over years. Melissa, how you doing? I ghost her. You know, I ghost her here, I ghost her there. I went down a really dark path of drug addiction till I was 25. I got clean. I got arrested on Mother's Day. I just spoke in the other room from that. I got arrested on Mother's Day, 2016. You know, my mom got that call. Well, happy Mother's Day to me. And I was like, oh, I didn't think this is too happy, is it? Can you pick me up from jail? And, you know, a little bit after that, you know, I got all of that. Because there's many epiphany. I've had many epiphany with myself, like, what are we doing? We're in. It was May 20th, 2016, so I just celebrated my 9 years, 2 days ago. But like, there's a bigger life out there. We don't, like, you don't go down the paths I did. It gets brighter. Life is crazy and the world's gonna come at you. It's the accountability you take and like showing up for yourself. I should use that nice statement, showing up for myself. You know, what you take with it. You know, people are gonna come at you, the world's nuts. You can play victim mode and be like, well, this person did this to me, or this is coming at me, or I can't get this job, or I can't go to this school, I can't do this. All these can'ts. But what about the I can'ts? I can do this. I can go do this. I can do this for this person. I can do this. You know, it's just giving yourself that hope shot. You know, like better than this. I can do this today, so I can do this tomorrow. I can do this and this and this. Setting yourself up for the little successes. Because don't get me wrong, I'm a sore again. I'm not good at this. You can look at all the negatives stacked against you, or you can look for that little piece of hope of what you can do. Because those negatives, they get heavy. Like, have you ever seen like all the negatives, everything on your shoulders, and you're like, I can't do this. I'm not getting up today. I'm not getting out of this bed. I can't stand the staff. I don't like this person today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like my outfit. I ain't doing this. I'm not making my bed. Screw this place. Do you ever feel that way? Like, you have those days where it's rough. You just don't want to be you. You're uncomfortable in your skin. You're like, dude, I can't do this. You know, it just feels rough. But you know what I mean? Take that 5 minutes, just okay. Stronger. Got this. I don't need no one but myself even. Where you find one staff that you know. Like, I don't know, do you guys each have at least one, do you have one staff or one person, one, like anyone in here that you can rely on, even yourself in time? Do you envision someone? Yes, no? Like your brain goes to someone? Like, go to that person, even it's yourself. Skip 5 minutes and be like, you know, there's one safe person, even if it's yourself. Got this. We can do this. It's the little things, you know? It all adds up, you know, when it starts from today. You know, like, am I gonna go down this path today for my actions, or am I gonna go down this path today because of my actions? And you gotta see it because there's a bigger picture, and trust me, it gets crazier. It gets crazier and fast from these little actions. So I remember I sat right in these chairs too. Sat right here. And this might get a little graphic, but I was sneaking in drugs, doing them right on the desk in the back corner in these rooms. And they're like, Melissa, what are you doing? And then I'd ask myself, Melissa, what are you doing? Life is beautiful. I mean, that doesn't look beautiful right now, but like, they're building beautiful sidewalks so we can walk on them, you know what I mean? They're making paychecks. You know, they're being productive, you know, that's gonna be beautiful. You know, it's looking at the bigger picture, it doesn't look beautiful, but it's going. And, you know, that's like the silver lining. So, little step. What can I do today for tomorrow? Who can I be for tomorrow? Who can I be right now for me today? You know? Should I talk shit? Oh, crap on this person? That's a little, I'm gonna do this. Am I gonna talk crap on this person today? Is that gonna benefit me? You know? And then am I gonna start a whole bunch of drama? You know, do I want that in my heart? Or, you know, I can go out of my way and be like, you're really pretty, I have to say, you know, and you're pretty smart too. You know, that fills your heart. And I meant that, by the way, I didn't just use that as an example, you know? Or I can go and be like, so-and-so, do you see what they're wearing? You know, like, what's that gonna do? Does that fill an ego that's fake and a facade? So it stirs the whole pot, you know, and it creates chaos in your life, because that's what we feed on. Feed off of chaos. It's fun, it's exciting. Chaos is so exciting for us, you know. But what's more fulfilling? You know, you build friendships, more friendships everywhere. Invite people in. And, you know, and that fills your heart and your purpose, and then you're leading with grace in your life, where it could lead you to better places, and you build friendships and bonds, and you build networking. You know, it's just, life can be so much more. It's just the seed you plant for yourself so that it can grow. You know, do you want to plant that seed, let it grow, water it, or we just gonna transplant? Yeah, you don't need that seeds. Someone else will do it. You know, we want to do it. It's all up. It comes down to our minds. You know, do we want to be negative Nancy? Do something. It all comes down to like ourselves. Gotta take ownership of our life. Be powerful. Each and every one of us. If you don't think you're powerful, you're wrong. I just want you to know that. Like, if you don't think you're powerful, you're wrong. You're powerful. Oh, you're. Need a filter. Someone has a filter for me. What do you want? What do you want to be when you grow up? You know?
No.
You never had like a thing, like when you were little even, do you remember like when you're little, you're like, oh, I want to be Superman. I want to be a demoter or nothing? No? Nothing. What do you do? Have anything you like to do? We could find something you like to do. No. Oh, I do something. I have to come work here.
Cool.
I am. I'm gonna run these halls and work here. I am. What do you like? You don't know either. There's a lot of I don't knows in here. We gotta find ourselves. Oh, I think that we gotta find ourselves. See what we like. Yeah. Do you guys know what you wanna do? Any of you?
I want to major in criminal justice, and
You can do it. You know that, right?
I always loved the law and doing stuff with it. I kind of want to be an FBI agent.
I think you should do it. I believe in you. Oh, like for real, truly, I think like nothing is like impossible. Like I have felonies, I have a whole rap sheet and everything, and I have a woman-owned business. Like I'm a business owner, but like I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't even be allowed today. You know, you're capable of doing it. You know, you're gonna get overwhelmed. It's gonna be scary. There's gonna be a lot of hard work, but like it's worth it. Like if that's what you want in your heart, do it. Just know that like you can do it. And I believe in you. And when you find out what you like, just know that you can do it. And you do. Like, you can do it. You can be anything you want to be. Like, literally, like, for real, like, this world is so free and you can do anything. Like, I hope for one day, you guys are, how old are you?
Cool.
No, I love it. My son's 13, so. But when you grow up and I see guys out there in the world, I'm gonna be like, I met them and they're doing what they wanted to do. You know, like you can. You really can. I want that for you. I want that for each and every one of you. I really want to see you guys out there and like, you can do whatever you want. I believe you're all fine stuff, like you didn't be anything you want to be. You had that right? Even if you don't believe it. Oh, do you guys have, yeah,
I have a question. How did you decide on your profession? Were you always an artist or, you know, what led you to that?
oh, wow.
What is your profession? I didn't
I
hear that last part.
own and I'm a tattoo artist. I got into it as a hobby for my mental health. I worked in an adult rehab for years after I got clean. And after a while, I stepped away for my own mental health. And that's when it was spiraling a little. And I was like, I need a hobby. So I don't just sit with myself. Because I always say that, like, you got to get out of yourself. You know, or like, that's a playground that's bad if you're going. And I started tattooing for the hobby, and it grew. And it grew into a small business, and then it grew into a huge business. And now I'm like, how am I running this? Yes, that's off. We'll circle back. I don't do math. So there's that. So, you know, I had to bring in outside people to help with the math part because, you know. But yeah, we have 5 tattoo artists. We have a doctor in there. We have a few outside business in there. We have a doctor in there that does some medical things. We have a piercer there. We've had massage people there. Like, I just have a very eclectic building, and I just put all the people and businesses in there. Yeah, that's what I do now. I'm a very self-expressive person. I love unique humans. I want everyone to be them. I've always been that way. I love people to be them, and like I will always advocate for that. I'm not a cookie cutter human. Yeah, that's I've always loved art. That I got my first tattoo when I was 14, and my mom almost killed me. Yeah, I came home, it was pen ink and a needle, and she's like, "Whoa, that better not be permanent." I was like, "It's a little permanent." And she quickly knew that I was not a cookie cutter human either. And it began there, and that was a part of my rebellion. But, you know, into my adult life, it carried me into my career now. But I just always be you as long as you're not harming you or yourself or you or other humans, you know. I just always say lead with grace and be yourself. You know, give yourself kindness. We're hard on ourselves, you know. I remember these ages. I remember sitting there and I'd just sit there in my head. You know, I doubt myself, like, oh, I don't need to hear this. I don't need to hear that lady. You know, I remember I'd be sitting here and be like, why does this lady talk to us? Can we get through this day? I need to go eat lunch. You know? Well, like if you hear one little sliver of anything I say, you know, just be kind to yourself. Just do that. Please do that. You only have one life. At least be kind to yourself. So,
Anyone else have any questions?
What started your like tattoo journey?
I was young and I remember seeing other people with tattoos and I was like, oh, they're different. And I liked different. Because remember, I was rebellious. I like different things and I like different people. And I think that's what set it off. I like uniqueness. I like when people are themselves. And it was I was 14, it was from there. I waited a few years after 14. It was mainly mama. And, it was really legal then.
Yeah.
That, and we're also growing into our bodies that young. So as like an adult professional, I do say wait. If you do want tattoos, that and your brain is going to change and want different ideas when you're older. And you're going to kick yourself when you're older and be like, I should have waited because now I have new ideas. So yeah, please wait. Pretty please. Because trust me, you're gonna want new, better ideas when you're older. That's why I'm covered in crazy stuff.
I was gonna ask how many tattoos you have.
I'm in one big tattoo now. 97% of my body's tattooed. From pits and all.
Right.
Yep, like I'm dedicated to this life now. But just be you. Whatever you want in life, go for it. You can do it. And you're young enough to decide what you want and who you want to be. And just be truthful to yourself. Yep.